said, Owen Benjamin tried to poison my lasagna. That's how you're going to try and diss someone in a wheelchair? By saying that the wind blew them over? That's your slight jab at me, buddy? Nice try. Must be nice to try and make, jokes like that. Found out about Owen Benjamin in The Unbearables. I can't remember exactly who told me about them. It might have been one of them who had reached out to me, actually. Long story short, in like March of 2018, I was looking to, of course, continue building the show, and I was looking for a group of networkers, kind of like-minded creative conservatives, and I was told about The Unbearables. I found out about Owen through the JRE podcast. To be honest, I wasn't really a big fan of him comedically. Like, I thought he was okay, but he wasn't, great. But I kind of liked what he was doing with the whole, anti-trans kids thing. That really spoke out to me. And in the beginning, The Unbearables seemed to be a great network. People who were doing creative stuff like art and design and podcasting and video production, parody, songs, musicianship, in the case of Chuck Boris, and just late night streams, which was how I met the original DZ guys. Of course, John Neary was my first interview for the brief period of time I was with the Bears. But here's the thing, Owen's not even a conservative. He's a fucking leftist, posing. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. How dare you! Owen is doing the shit that mass shooters do before they go and do a school shooting. Here's my manifesto. We need to get rid of the weak people, and I'm not saying he's going to be the one to do this. An Australian man murdered his wife with a pair of scissors, stabbed her in the chest. This is a warning to the general public about Owen Benjamin. We've warned you. How dare you!
Must be nice.
According to him, the goat urinated on him first, in front of Amy.
all this gay talk is pissing off my German Shepherd.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Whitfield Report. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live impromptu here on a Wednesday morning. It's midnight here on the East Coast, so Wednesday morning here on the East Coast, Tuesday night if you're on the Pacific Coast or wherever California is. And I want to thank you all for joining me here at this late hour. Anyway, contact info as usual. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @somebody_NGC, at Sam Whitfield on Gab, Parler, and Minds. Facebook.com/Whitfield Report, thesamwhitfield.com if you'd like to go to my website. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you get your podcast. And speaking of, I will be moving the premium podcast to Apple Podcasts premium as well as on Patreon. I've still got to see if I can do the rights, but because of Apple Podcasts you can basically start like a premium subscription thing for podcasts over there, so I'm gonna do that. I've been working on that while it's been in beta, but now that it's out to the public, I'm going to launch that. So NGC Media will have a podcast page up on Apple Podcasts with my show and a couple other shows that I've done in the past. And maybe like an after-hour live stream thing too, or an audio podcast, kind of like just kind of like a hangout chill podcast. So I'll give you guys more details about that. But um, anyway, thank you for tuning in. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this episode is, in fact, because of a podcast listener who tuned in a few weeks ago and actually wrote to me and wanted to know why I left Colorado, why I moved, and why I've made so many snide comments about Colorado, or seemingly snide comments about Colorado. And so I want to just take a few moments to address this. I don't think it should take that long, but as most of you know, I was born and raised in Denver, Colorado. I lived there until I was roughly, 18, almost 19 years old. I moved in August of 2013 here to Florida and really haven't looked back since. And I love Colorado, don't get me wrong, but there are a few reasons why I decided to move. Um, first and foremost, the reason why I decided to leave was because two things. One is I had been there all my life, and I had been in Colorado all my life, and I had the opportunity to move to Florida with my mom and stepdad, so I decided to because it was an opportunity, and I was young, and I had never really lived anywhere else, so it seemed exciting to move somewhere else. So I did, and I love it. But also, in a more practical reason, I have cerebral palsy, as many of you know, and one of the things with cerebral palsy is my circulation. It's not as bad as it could be. There are certainly people who have cerebral palsy that have like much worse circulation than I do. But essentially, the upshot is that I do not do well in like cold and winters, and with some of the winters that Colorado has had, like even in Denver, um, it's been cold, and plus like having to deal with ice and whatnot, and a wheelchair, like even a rape machine like mine, uh, it can really fuck up a wheelchair at times. So, when I was thinking of whether I wanted to stay or go, I just kind of decided, well, would I rather, live in a place where it's cold a long part of the year and where the winters can be unpredictable, or would I rather go somewhere where it's like, nice in the winters and mild and, the sun is always out, and not to mention there are always good looking women out in bikinis in the winter. I don't know. Which one would you pick if you were me? So I decided to go to Florida. It has nothing to do with any of the family drama that some people on Facebook might have accidentally read about, and yeah, it has nothing to do with any of the rumors regarding to that, despite what some of you may have heard. Um, and yeah, so I love here in Florida, and really that's all there is to say. I'm happy here, and I wanted to address that. Now, the other thing with that I want to address is, why do I make fun of Colorado so much if I'm from there? Well, because I mean every place has something that you can make fun of. You know, like even though I live in Florida, I love all the Florida Man memes. This state has plenty of stuff to laugh at, and I am fully aware of that. Um, However, one of the things politically speaking, and Bruce City, I'm glad you're here because this would be a topic that I think you would very much be interested in. Um, Colorado was one of the first states to legalize weed recreationally, and you know the law passed right before I moved down here, so it didn't go into effect until after uh I moved down here, right? But when it was being proposed, it was mainly proposed as like a thing to benefit the state education system, and more specifically, a large portion of that was going to go to the Denver public school system, which the Denver public school system sucks ass, to put it bluntly. And so legalizing weed was going to be was proposed as like this big thing to basically help education, right? It was going to help fund the schools and also some public transit. That was where all the weed money was going to go. It was going to help fix a whole lot of Colorado's problems. Well, wouldn't you know it? When the government gets involved in a lot of shit, things don't go according to plan. Some of it has gone to education, but not as much as the politicians said it was going to, and the state gets a lot of money for education to begin with anyway, and it just goes into the school board system. And in terms of RTD and the public transit system, like, it's funny, things have actually gotten worse with RTD because they unionized in Colorado, and I guess the light rail system and whatnot and the bus system, from what I've been told, has basically gone to shit because of the unions and the Democrats in charge. So, color me shocked. But the most hilarious thing too is, legalizing weed will prevent teenagers from smoking it, and it'll make it safe. So yeah, and so let me just say this. I am for weed legalization. I think it's rather harmless. I think when it comes to weed and drugs like that, I kind of lean on the libertarian thing. I definitely think it should be decriminalized and even be legalized. But however, Colorado has basically just turned into another lobby and money dump for the politicians. And I mean, hell, buying weed in Colorado, because it's not federally legalized, you can't buy it with a credit card. You have to go into a store and like pay cash, and it's $60 or upwards from what I've heard. I went into weed shop once when I was back in Colorado a few years ago, and it was basically like I mean, it was like a wine vintner shop. It was cool, but it's not the kind of utopia thing where everyone just buys weed like you're at McDonald's. That's kind of what everyone seems to think it is, but um it's not. It's more complicated than that. Um and then and as I mentioned, people think that kids aren't going to get into it as much, and that it's going to, and the instances of fake weed are going to go down. Well, because of how expensive weed is in Colorado, and part of that is because of costs of storing it and everything, and also because of the politicians and the lobbyists partly. Kids can't buy weed, so this whole thing of instances of skunk weed and weed laced with stuff is going to go down. No, oh no no no. The cartels will still lace weed with with stuff and chemicals, and then sell it to kids, and then kids will smoke that and get sick and whatnot, and so great going with that, guys. Weed legalization really fixed that. um and also because you have to store money in vaults, like these a lot of the money is transferred by armored trucks, so those are hot spots for robbery. I don't think they've been robbed like too many times. I haven't heard of like any mass heists, but the temptation to rob pure cash is out there as now. But the biggest thing that is probably my pet peeve is all these left wing Californians have moved to my once great state, and I mean, Colorado went from being red to kind of being purplish libertarian to now it's essentially like California, and it's getting worse. And I can't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't really afford to move back there if I wanted. One of my friends in Colorado, graduated a year ago with his degree in architecture, and has a pretty good paying job at a firm downtown, and yet he's still living with his parents because the cost of living and housing has gone up so astronomically because of the weed bubble. All of these rich yuppies are moving, to Colorado and buying everything up, so it's like really expensive. And I kid you not, the house that I grew up in, and I grew up in a couple because my parents were divorced, but the house that I mainly stayed in, from the time I was in middle school to the time I graduated and left, in a solid middle class neighborhood now, is like roughly, like, it's not $1 million, but it's like $500,000. It's gotten really expensive to live there now. So part of that doesn't have to do so much with weed legalization, but all the Democrats from California who have fled because of legal weed, man, and whatnot. And I don't know, like I said, I'm not necessarily mad that they legalized it. I'm just more upset at the way they legalize it. And I don't think they did as much, research into, well, how it will affect this and that and the other thing that you know, uh I don't think they really did too much on how it would affect everything. So that's all I'm saying. And plus, I mean, let's be honest, Jared Polis is, both a. I mean, I don't care that he's gay, but because he's a Democrat, and because not so much because he's a Democrat, but because he's a leftist, um, I like to call leftists faggots, even the straight ones. It's like that South Park episode with the bikers. It's that same concept. And it just so happens that Polis is also gay, which again, don't really care, but you know, he's essentially like Gavin Newsom Jr. So, for all you people on my Facebook page who always complain, "Oh my God, you're making homophobic comments about Polis." No, I'm mocking him because he's following Gavin Newsom, who's a faggot and who completely torched Colorado during COVID. He's a little smart in that he opened up the state before Newsom did. California is still not open. I think they're finally reopening this week. But suffice it to say, Colorado, y'all need a better governor. I mean, I know I'm spoiled here because I've got Ron DeSantis and he's pretty much like the apex. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Colorado. I can't save you guys anymore. I tried to warn you about all this stuff when I was there, and I know I was only 18. And what does the 18-year-old know about policy? Well, evidently, more than some of you guys did. That's for sure. So yeah, that's just my quick little rant about all that and whatnot. Let me read what the chat has to say about some of that, and also hang on, I'm clipping this real quick. Okay. Yes, I can do clips during the live show too. And let's see here. I'll publish this after the show. But anyway, let's see what the chats say. Let's see. Sam saying how dare you is the best. Oh yeah, you're referencing your. Well, I mean, you did a good job on that intro, Brew. I've got to say it's a little Owen Benjamin heavy. So we might need an updated version. But that's great. Let's see. It's 60. Yeah, I mean 60 isn't horrible, but I mean, like, that's the starting price, brew, for weed. It can get really pricey up there. Um, let's see. Let's see. Colorado is pretty gay though. SJWs, globalists, and Christian Zionists. Yeah, basic. I mean, you don't need to. I mean, I don't want to say that that's even the reason why we left, but I mean, we saw that coming, and it was. I mean, I don't want to say we fled Colorado because we didn't. We chose to move to Florida because of other reasons, and also I have family here too. Like my mom, basically my mom's side of the family is here, so um, that's nice as well. Um, but yeah, Colorado is full of SJWs, man. So thank God for Ron DeSantis. Um, so anyway, and also, let's see. Would you say you had a blast in the Colorado schools? Too soon? Well, I mean, that's the other thing, Brew, is like or not, we have had like all the crazy school shooters have been from Colorado, and all of them have also, uh, been on some sort of prescription drug and, big pharma. So, I don't know about you, but there seems to be a correlation between, you know, drugs and big pharma and whatnot, and antidepressants and all of these shootings. It's unreal, isn't it? I'll tell you. But anyway, let's see. I mean, are you talking about he was stalking Sawson before it was cool? Are you talking about me or Nate there? Because I mean, Sawson's cute, and I mean everyone has a crush on Sawson. Let's be honest, Brew. I mean, everyone has a crush on you too, whether you realize it or not. I mean, I know you know that, but come on. Uh, you know, don't try and hide it. You're a good-looking woman. And you make great sense, and you're just an awesome person in general. So anyway, let's see here now. What? So because I got the Colorado rant out of the way, I'm going to do something impromptu. Some listeners are complaining I don't really read the news that much, so we're going to do something fun, and let's just read the news headlines from actually one of my favorite news sites to read, and that would be folks, I give you headlines from the New York Post. Now, I know that there's already a podcast called the New York City Crime Report, in which case, with Pat Dixon, I know that podcast exists. I'm not stealing his bit, but I do find the NY Post to be informative and entertaining. So one thing that I found interesting, I saw this earlier today. Southwest Airlines grounds its entire fleet amid giant computer outage. Again. This is from David Meyer, who writes over there. Southwest Airlines grounded flights across the country Tuesday for the second time in less than 24 hours, amid reports of nationwide computer issues. Air travelers took to Twitter by the thousands, with reports of what airline staff reportedly told them was a computer system outage, hours after quote-unquote intermittent performance issues with a third-party weather app forced a similar group stop Monday night. Quote, "We are aware of system issues and are working quickly to resolve. We will share more info soon," Southwest posted on its official Twitter account at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Airline operations resumed shortly before 4 p.m., Southwest said in a statement. The carrier attributed Tuesday's meltdown to intermittent performance issues with network connectivity and said it had proactively canceled about 500 flights because of the disruption. Ew, I just saw something with Heidi Klum, but I will ignore that because I am a professional of the utmost professional. Although this is another reason why I like the NY Post. I just read that. We're working with those customers to get them to their destinations as quickly as possible, said spokesman Chris Maines. The shutdown came after a giant glitch Monday night prevented transmission of weather information that is required to safely operate our aircraft, the airline told Fox Business. Oh, so this isn't like the little weather app that they use to oh, shut up, Samsung. I use AirPods anyway, so. But yeah, I guess this weather app isn't like the third-party one that you guys use in the seats like on an airplane flight. Not that anyone really looks at those anyway, but I guess this is like an actual one that the pilots use and whatnot, and the air traffic control users. Southwest flyers expressed confusion on Twitter. Many said that the airline informed them their flights were canceled and reported getting cut off from customer services after waiting hours on the line. So here are a few of them. Not going to read them, but yeah. So this is bizarre, and I've seen a couple of those tweets today on Twitter. Some were thinking that this might be like an Al-Qaeda thing, or I saw some guy, is this ISIS or something along those lines. But very bizarre. So I did see that, thought it might be like a worthwhile news story or something. And let's see how we're doing on time here. Okay, 35 minutes. So let's see. Maybe we've got time for one more story here. Let's see. Let's see. What is happening in the ad? I don't know, bro. This website is weird. Let's see. Let's see what other stuff is weird. Yeah, like I said. Oh, this one is interesting. I saw this today too. Florida congressional candidate accuses rivals of planning to kill her. Let's see. A Florida congressional candidate has accused her potential rivals in the GOP primary of planning to kill her. Anna Paulina Luna, who has previously been endorsed by former President Donald Trump in the race, obtained a temporary restraining order Friday against fellow Republican William Broderick, the Tampa Bay Times reported. Luna claimed in court papers that Broderick and her other political opponent, Matt Tito and Amanda Mackey, were working together to take her out, the report said. I received information yesterday at midnight regarding a plan with a timeline to murder me made by William Broderick in an effort to prevent me from winning the election for Florida 13. Luna wrote in her petition for an injunction last week. I feel in fear that this is an orchestrated attempt on my life, being organized and carried out by William Broderick, and he claims he's working together with Mr. Mackey and Mr. Tito. Broderick, who filed Monday to run as Republican candidate for the same seat Lynn is seeking, strongly denied the allegation. The allegations. This woman is off her rocker, and she does not need to be representing anyone. He told the Tampa Bay Times. He said he's only met Luna in person and doesn't even have her phone number. Tito, who lost a race for the Florida House of Representatives in 2020, has previously called on Luna to drop out, saying she is unfit for office, according to the report. I mean, playing devil's advocate, though, maybe these guys are deep state. I don't know. Maybe they're part of the deep state, in the swamp and the cabal. Who knows? Or maybe she really is crazy. I'm shocked, but it's kind of like this is what she does, Tito told the newspaper. She can't debate you on the policy issues. She plays the victim better than anyone I've ever seen. Luna is running for the seat being vacated by Democrat Charlie Crisp. She nabbed Trump's endorsement last year and also has the backing of Florida Representative Matt Gaetz. Miss Luna has no comment at the time due to multiple ongoing law enforcement investigations of this matter. Her spokesperson, James Blair, told the Times. We are confident the facts will be public at the appropriate time. Wow. Okay, very interesting stuff there, folks. Yeah, how deep is his stay? uh, uh, yeah, Mint Condition Chicken. I knew you were going to go for the Mr. Mackey thing. That is exactly what I thought. Let's see. Did did the dog retriever? I don't know. Let's see. How are we doing on time? Black Forest Hamlet. Let's see. Journey to the Center of its Day. You know what? Since it's on the trending page, let's go to the page 6 section and see what this Heidi Klum thing is about. I'm intrigued to say the least what the Dutch German chick is doing. Let's see. Heidi Klum roots for Germany's soccer team in dangerously tiny crop top. And yeah, I've seen worse in Florida for sure. This will probably also get me age restricted on YouTube now, but I don't care. Do I want the latest news from page 6 on my timeline? Not really. Go Germany. Ahead of her home country's game against France in the UEFA European Football Championship, aka the Euros, on Tuesday, Heidi Klum showed her support in entirely unsupportive shirt. The supermodel 48 wore a tiny black bikini bottom, a gold belly chain, and a Germany jersey cropped into a crop top that barely covered her nipples. Good luck today, Germany. The mom of 4 captioned the underboob bearing pic. Wow, yeah, 48. Klum appears to be watching the game from her houseboat on Lake Winnipeg in Berlin, where she and her husband, Tom Kalu, were spotted packing on major PDA last month. Oh yeah, that's right. She did get divorced from Seal. Now I remember. Well, the America's Got Talent star is no stranger to showing her love for her man. She's also not shy about showing off her body. Yeah, just check her subreddit if you need any on that. I mean, I'm not saying I've been there, but that's what I've heard at least. Let's see. And even during the winter, she wore nothing but thigh-high boots with her puffy coat. Okay, yeah, good stuff. Page 6 is always good for that sort of thing. That's gonna get clipped for sure. So, yeah, she certainly still can get it. Mint condition chicken. Heidi Klum. That's what she said. But anyway, just figured I would end the show with that. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that this thing is gonna get age restricted as fuck now. But I don't care. Because it'll be on Odyssey, where everyone should go to, watch my, stuff. So, so anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for joining me for this impromptu stream here. It's a lot better than Whiskey Runner's architecture stream or and who knows? We might do something similar on the Whitfield report this weekend. I don't know. And we've also, Bruce City, I've got to talk to you. We've got to figure out when we can get you on the show. Because you certainly deserve way more subscribers than you currently have. So, anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in. From all of us here at NGC Studios, have a good night. God bless. God save this great nation. And God bless Heidi Klum's sweet ass as well. What? That's what I said. You heard me. Let's see. Alright, good night, and, onward to Bertardia as well. Good night, folks.